Hey guys, it's Layla from Ignite, and in today's video, I'm going to take you through some fundamentals of textual analysis, useful to you especially if you're in years 7 to 10. But before I get into that, if you do like our content, please do like and subscribe to our channel and click the bell for notifications. And if you'd like some resources to help you navigate your way through your English studies, check out our website, Ignite HSC. But for now, let's get into today's content. So in today's video, I'm really catering towards students who are getting into the process of doing textual analysis and might be struggling with really conceptualizing what it means to do textual analysis. So if you're finding that in your classwork, your teacher's asking you to look at a text and unpack how that composer has used techniques or aspects of form to discuss the impact on the reader, if you're finding that challenging, this video will be super useful for you. So that's what we're doing. Now, in order to get to that, the process of textual analysis is really requiring students to understand how a composer conveys meaning in a text. So when you're looking at questions, for example, you may have seen questions in classwork such as, how has the composer characterized the key protagonist in a text? Or how has the composer conveyed a sense of setting? Whenever you are in your work asserting an effect of what a composer has done, and by the way, a composer is, an author or a poet or a filmmaker, whenever you're asserting that some sort of meaning has been conveyed to you as a reader or a viewer, you must back that up with firstly evidence from the text, but also how the composer has used either an aspect of form or a technique. Okay, so you're understanding representation. How has the composer actually used their tool bag of techniques and form to have an impact on you or convey meaning to you as a responder to that text? So before you ever assert any meaning that's conveyed, before you ever say something like the composer explores good or evil in the text, or the composer conveys a strong sense of character in the protagonist, whatever it is that you say, depending on the text that you're studying, you must bring that back to form and feature in the text. And when you're identifying an aspect of form and feature, you must use an example. I'm just going to pause for a moment and talk about these two F words, arguably the most important F words as you navigate your way through your HSC studies and indeed your English studies as a junior student as well. When we're talking about form, you are considering how the composer has used the distinctive qualities of that type of text to convey meaning. For example, if you're looking at a play, maybe you've looked at Shakespeare's Macbeth as a younger student. You're considering how Shakespeare has used the theatrical form, right? Stage directions, monologues, soliloquies, how he's using these key qualities to convey meaning in his text, right? Genre is also a part of this discussion of form. Macbeth, for example, is a tragedy. Elements of tragedy include having a protagonist who is underpinned by some sort of hamartia, right? Having catharsis, an outpouring of emotion by the end of the text. All of these elements of tragic plays, by way of example, are elements of form. Okay, feature is easier for you to identify and may indeed be more familiar to you. These are techniques that are being used in the text. For example, things like similes, metaphors, personification. These notions aren't text specific. Okay, so when you're analysing a text, when you're asserting that there has been an idea conveyed or an impact on the responder, you are essentially addressing how the composer has used the two F words to represent whatever that meaning is to you as the responder to the text. That's the fundamental of your analysis. So any students out there, if you're looking at English and you're thinking, I just don't know what this subject is about, English is quite subjective, right? In the sense that there are so many things you can draw from a text, but whatever that subjective meaning is, you're bringing it back to this. How has the composer used form and feature to convey some sort of meaning to you as the responder? And if you understand that, everything else kind of flows easily. On the next slide here, I've kind of formulated that thought process of form, feature, and meaning in this question here. How has the composer used technique or form to convey effect? And this sequence here is really what underpins all your analysis, irrespective of whether you're writing a comprehension response or an essay, or this is important to you to consider when you are doing your own creative compositions. You ought to be conscious of what forms and features you're then utilising to hopefully convey some sort of impact on your responder. Okay, now putting this into a more detailed formula, on the next slide, I framed here our building block to analysis. So whenever you're drafting perhaps a peel paragraph in an essay or you're responding to a comprehension question, this building block is really your best friend. So what you're doing here is you're working through all of the elements that are necessary to assert how the composer has conveyed meaning in the text. For example, what we have here, in quote, the technique, and then you would have a verb here, conveys some sort of effect. When we say verb, we're talking about words which describe what the technique or aspect of form does to you as the responder. Does it convey something? Does it highlight something? Does it illuminate something, right? You want to avoid simply saying that, for example, the composer's use of metaphor shows this. Shows doesn't really do justice to what the composer is trying to do. Other phrases that you can use, and you can look back over or pause the video to write these down, it may highlight that, or it elucidates the extent to which, or it illustrates the nature of. These are all useful turns of phrase that you can use to describe the particular impact of a technique or an aspect of form in conveying meaning to the responder. So whenever you're drafting any body paragraphs or you're doing analysis, moving through this sequence is really the essential aspect of any analysis that you are completing. On the next slide here, again, if you'd like to pause and take note, I've given you a complete list of verbs that you could use to fill in this part of the analysis on that slide. Okay, so let me just recap what we've done so far and sum up. If you're a younger student, or indeed if you are doing senior English and you're wondering, what is it that I'm doing in English? What is the basis of my English studies? It's unpacking representation in text. How has the composer used form or feature to convey some sort of meaning? Whenever you're answering those typical essay questions, how is a theme being conveyed in a text? Or a more specific comprehension question, how has the composer used this technique in this part of the text and to what effect? You're coming back to this building block. You must remember to ask yourself if you are asserting an impact that the author has made on you, or if you're asserting that the author has conveyed some sort of idea, you must ask yourself, have I given evidence for what I've asserted, and have I identified the technique or aspect of form in the evidence that I have drawn upon? Okay, that concludes my little introduction to analysis for today's video. If you have any questions, guys, please do comment and I will do my best to get back to you. Otherwise, if you have found this video useful, please do like and subscribe to our channel and click the bell for notifications. And if you would like further resources to help you with your studies, check out our website at Ignite HSC. But for now, guys, again, thank you so much for watching and I really hope to see you in the next video. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you do like the content, subscribe to our channel and we'll have more videos coming your way.
That's right, guys. Thanks for watching. And please make sure you check out our online resource database. We've had a team of state rank achievers and heads of English put these together for you, covering everything from essay structures and examples all the way through to craft of writing and comprehension skills. So check them out at ignitehsc.com.au and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.